G'day, Eric Backer here, a naturopath, author of Candida Crusher. Thank you for checking out this video. What is Candida brain fog? I often get asked by people. Why does my brain feel like cotton wool? I'm all foggy up there. I've got mental confusion. I can't think clearly. I seem to be in a world of my own. I feel stoned or spaced out. Eric, help me out. I'm a bit worried here. So, brain fog is a term that's used by people when there's a certain element of mental confusion, or they can't really think clearly or rationally. They don't know what the heck's going on. There are many reasons why you could be feeling like this. It may not be Candida related, okay? We could be looking at heavy metal toxicity. Mercury, for example, in higher amounts can cause brain fog, and it commonly does. The term mad as a hatter came from years ago from when people used to use mercury for lining, putting felt inside hats, and hat makers used to go crazy because the mercury would cause neurotoxicity. So, if you've got brain fog, a hair analysis is probably quite a good idea to determine what your level of mercury is, or cadmium, or arsenic, or lead. One of those 4 sulfhydryl metals is very important to determine if you've got heavy metal toxicity. Low calcium levels. High calcium levels, low potassium and low zinc levels are often found in a hair analysis as well. This will give you an indication also if you've got a copper imbalance. And copper imbalances are something commonly found too. Zinc to copper ratios can be pretty screwed up with people with bad mental confusion. So the other thing with brain fog, probably much more common that I see in the clinic, is bowel toxemia, or toxins in the bowel. So bad bacteria producing indoles and scatols and cadaverine and various types of chemicals that get liberated in the bloodstream by these bacteria that get into the brain. Lack of beneficial bacteria is the #1 cause of brain fog, I can tell you now. It's not Candida, it's the lack of beneficial bacteria. And how do I know this? Well, I've completed many hundreds of stool tests over the years, over 1,000 stool tests on Candida patients. And in most cases, when the patient had severe brain fog, I found NG, or nil growth, on the lactobacillus species. Nil growth, none. We couldn't detect any on culture. So the people with the lowest beneficial bacteria levels had the worst brain fog of all. All right? Now, some of these people didn't even have Candida. We couldn't culture it in these people, but because they had such low beneficial bacteria, it allowed the bad bacteria to go crazy. All right? It's a little bit like the police or the military presence isn't there, and these ISIS militants or these crazy terrorists just get out of control and start dropping bombs and chopping people up. Okay, so the bad bacteria in your bowel can do a similar thing. They can create a lot of gases and byproducts that can make you feel all spaced out in the presence of low beneficial bacteria. All right, so you really need to get the beneficial bacteria up when you've got brain fog. And sometimes it's not just a matter of taking probiotics, because probiotics can make some people much worse. You may be one of those people watching this video now with brain fog who took a probiotic and got 10 times worse. So this is where you need to get expert help from somebody to really determine what's going on in the bowel, what level of beneficial bacteria you've got, and commensal, which we call transitional bacteria, going from good or bad, and the bad guys you've got. This needs to be determined first before we can decide what we're going to do. But I can tell you now, brain fog can be cured 100%. I've helped many hundreds of patients get rid of their brain fog. And I've got really grateful patients as a result. Because if you can't work, you can't even drive a car sometimes when your brain fog is that bad. So let's just recap on that. Check for heavy metals, okay? Hair analysis is probably a good thing to do if you've got brain fog. Check for gut dysbiosis. So make sure that you do a stool test and a hair test if you've got severe brain fog. These are 2 very clever things to do to give you an indication on what's going on. There's no doubt 20 other reasons why people have brain fog, but what I just mentioned in this video is a very good explanation of some of the prime causes of brain fog and what you can do about it. So I hope that answers the question. Thanks for checking out this video.